All right, this is case number 23 CR 190, State of Ohio versus Darnell S. Thompson. Are you Darnell S. Thompson appearing there from the institution?
Yes, sir.
All right, this is a hearing on a motion for judicial release filed by Mr. Thompson's attorney, William Armentrout, is present in the courtroom. The state is represented by Assistant Prosecutor Adam King. The defendant was convicted of felonious assault on April the 3rd of 2024 and was sentenced to a term of 3 years minimum up to a maximum of 4.5 years under the Reagan Codes law. The motion was filed originally and the court denied it after 6 months and without prejudice, and was refiled by Mr. Armentrout, I believe in March. And so the court did order a post-hearing report and reviewed that. Mr. Armentrout, anything you'd like to... Oh, before we begin, Mr. King was the victim of the offense notified at the time, place, purpose of this hearing, the right to be heard.
We attempted to notify him, Your Honor, but did not make contact.
All right. Okay, and Mr. Armentrout.
I would ask the court to consider releasing Darnell on whatever conditions the court would deem appropriate. It's my understanding the prosecutor's office is standing by its original position, which they would not oppose a judicial release. As the court indicated, Darnell filed this on his own, obviously prematurely based on what the agreement was. I don't know if that was without benefit of counsel. I don't know if he just, I'm not sure why he filed that early, but the court hopefully has a positive report from the institution. To my motion, I attached a letter that the court, I'm sure, has reviewed. He's obtained his GED. I believe he's working. I don't want to go back into the facts of the case. He's owned up, admitted what he did. Your Honor, there was a gun involved, as the court's aware. Someone just stated that Darnell was not the person that had the gun. It doesn't make a difference, but I just want the court to be aware of that. He's maintained contact with me, Your Honor, on his own nickel, calling me just to tell me what his progress was, how he's been doing. It's a very serious offense, and I know the court may be reluctant to think about releasing him, but I would ask the court to take a chance on this young man to prove both myself and the court correct that he can do this. It appears to me that he's, instead of just putting in his time, as you can tell from the documentation that you have, but he's grabbed hold of it and tried to better himself. He's a young man. We'd ask the court to give serious consideration to releasing him at this point in time.
Anything from the state, Mr. King?
Thank you, Your Honor. The state has no objection to judicial release, and while we weren't able to make contact with the victim this time around, I would just note that when the agreement was entered into, he indicated that he would not object to judicial release after 1 year of incarceration. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Thompson, is there anything you'd like to say regarding the motion?
Yes, sir. During my incarceration, I've just taken the time to recalculate my past actions and just how ignorant and irresponsible they were. And I realized someone could have gotten hurt, or myself could have. And I just would like to sincerely apologize for my actions.
Well, Mr. Thompson, this is a pretty serious offense. The underlying action was that of a pre-planned robbery of the victim. And while you didn't have the gun, you were a participant in that. And you're not the one that shot at him, but he was shot at. It's a pretty serious matter. Court doesn't generally grant judicial release for second-degree felonies. Now, I'll also note that while this is your first felony, you as an adult, well, actually, it looks like you were charged as a juvenile burglary. It was dismissed, but you had an unruly situation there. It was also dismissed. But since you've turned 18, you've had several traffic offenses and some minor drug things, but you really don't seem to have been doing much with your life. I do see that you did obtain your GED since you've been in prison, so that's certainly a positive step and something that's very important for your future. It does look like you did hold jobs from various places from 2021 through the 2024. And since there was no objection by the victim, and you were not the one that used the gun, I'm going to take a chance here. I don't really feel real good about it, Mr. Thompson, but this was the plea agreement, and I do think that there's a possibility that if you are sincere about changing your life, that you can do it. So I'm going to grant the motion for judicial release and order that you be placed under community control supervision for a period of 3 years. The release will be effective on April the 15th. That should be next Thursday. And you'll be released to the Highland County Sheriff at that time to be brought back here. You'll be under you'll be under 3 years of community control supervision under the probation department. You'll be required to obey all laws of all jurisdictions, to conduct yourself in a law-abiding manner at all times, and be truthful in all statements you make to the probation department. You must report when and as directed. Just keep them informed of your residence and place of employment at all times. May not change either without prior permission. May not leave the state of Ohio at any time without prior written permission. May not enter upon the grounds of any correctional facility, nor may communicate with or attempt to communicate with anyone who's an inmate in any of those facilities once you're released without prior written permission. You're not permitted to purchase, possess, own, use, or have under your control any kind of a firearm, ammunition, dangerous ordinance, or weapon of any other type. And if you did have firearms, ammunition, or dangerous ordinance, it could subject you to being prosecuted for an additional felony under both federal and state law. You're not permitted to purchase, possess, use, or have under your control an alcoholic beverage or any type of a controlled substance, drug abuse, or any instrument, device, or thing that may be used to administer drugs, prepare them for administration. Unless you have a lawful prescription, you must provide a copy of that within 24 hours of receipt. You're to submit to drug testing when and as directed. You're not to associate with your co-defendant or any other person who has a criminal record as a member of a gang or other criminal group, or any person who has in the past or could in the future influence you to commit a criminal offense or violate these conditions. You're not to marry or establish cohabitation or a common law marriage-type relationship with another without written permission. You must report any contact with law enforcement or any arrest, citation, conviction, or other charge of violating the law not later than the next business day after that occurs. You must provide your supervising officer with financial information records so your ability to pay the costs can be reviewed. If you're referred by the probation department for an evaluation or assessment for any kind of treatment, therapy, counseling, training, or other programming, you'll submit to that. If it's recommended, you must enroll in and successfully complete that. There was no restitution.
Correct, Your Honor, no restitution.
You're also going to be required to successfully complete the STAR program at the CBCF at Franklin Furnace. And once you complete that, you're to complete any recommended aftercare they may recommend. You'll be required to remain in jail until you are conveyed to STAR, which right now is scheduled to be April the 16th in the morning. So you'll be brought back on the 15th, kept overnight, and then you'll go to the STAR program. Now, in the event that you're found to have violated any of the terms of this release, that would be after a hearing in which you would be notified of the allegations and have the opportunity to have counsel. But if the outcome of that hearing is that you have failed to comply, then at that time the court can revoke your community control, return you to prison to serve the balance of your sentence. And if you are convicted of a new felony while under community control, in this case, any prison term imposed for that could be ordered to be served consecutively to this. I'll also tell you this, Mr. Thompson, completing the STAR program is a 100% requirement. It's not 75%, 80%, 90%, it's 100%. If you don't successfully complete it and you get kicked out, come back to court, we have a hearing and we determine that's what happened, you're going to go back to serve the rest of your term. So you need to understand when you go to, this is a CBCF, and it's going to be programming that's designed to help you change the way you've been thinking and looking at life and offer you assistance in some of your issues, which appear to be some substance use abuse and or alcohol problems. But in any event, they'll take a look at that and determine what needs to be done. But you just need to understand, if you don't complete it, you're going to go back. Because if you can't get through STAR, then there's no reason for you to try to do community control. All right, is there anything further, counsel?
No, Your Honor.
All right, we'll file this entry and notify the institution, and the sheriff will be picking you up on the 15th. All right, thank you. You have any questions?
No, sir.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thank you.